Welcome back, viewers at home. I am joined by my amazing, beautiful guest by the name of Bontle Amanda Chauke. Now, she is a published author, and through her work, she has ignited a sense of purpose to her readers. Now, today we'll understand her as an inspirational speaker, a poet who resonates deeply with those navigating the complexities of self-acceptance and confidence building. Bontle, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us here on INX.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having me.
Now, one thing before we get to the many things you're doing, I want to understand from you, how did you discover your passion of poetry as well as writing?
Well, I think discovering my passion for writing, it's something that started at early in primary school. You know, I loved the subject English. Whenever it was a period for English, I was going to get so excited. And when it comes to essay writing, believe me, I was always top of the class. So that's how I discovered my passion for writing. And when it comes to poetry, I just felt, you know what, if there's no way I can explain my emotions, how about I write them down? So that's how I discovered that I actually can write poetry.
Now, at what point in your life did you then understand the fact that you can go on with this without needing to go to your cliched ways of working in terms of being an accountant or a lawyer and the likes?
Well, I think with me, I was very fortunate because, you know, when you go to places and you meet people who see the gift, who see the activeness that you have. So I discovered it at a very early age, whereby like a person will come and say, you know what, I think you're good at this. So that, okay, really? All right, maybe I should at least try it. And that was the first thing that I tried after I matriculated.
That is quite exciting. Now, for people who are not familiar with your work, I believe that your themes in your writing and your poetry revolves around identity, self-acceptance, and confidence. Why do you believe that these themes are very important to you and are necessary for you to actually continue writing on?
So when it comes to self-acceptance, I struggled so much accepting some parts of myself as I was growing up. And me not being able to accept myself, it led to me being less confident. And even during presentations at schools, I was very nervous to go and actually share my thoughts. So as I grow up finding myself, having to accept myself, and honestly finding my purpose, I saw that many people are really struggling with that. And me having been through that, actually I can help people to better understand themselves, to better accept themselves, and also to gain confidence, because there's power when you are confident. I always say to people that life is a confidence game.
Yeah, speaking on confidence, it takes a good support system. It takes good conversations and rightful people to help you navigate that or getting that strength back. For you, what would you say were some of those issues that you were struggling with that took away your confidence, and how exactly did you go about attaining that confidence for yourself?
So I think one of the major struggles that I had to deal with is I continued asking myself questions. Why was I born here? Why am I supposed to be here? Why, God, did you make me like this? God, why not make me this? Why this? So I had questions to myself, but I was not able to share those questions with anybody else because I felt that people won't understand me. People won't understand what I'm talking about. So I struggle so much with the support system to say, I can always run to this certain person and say, you know what, this is what I'm struggling with. So I had to deal with everything by myself. But it came to a point where I went to a particular church, and I got the pastor there preaching so powerfully about who we are in Christ Jesus. And I think that is where my confidence really came in, to say, no, Bontle, God creates people very uniquely, and there's a purpose why God actually created you so unique. So actually you have a purpose why you are here. And that's where I began to become confident in myself, and also believing in myself so much that whatever that came in, whatever you said, didn't really move me.
Now, Bontle, sitting with you right here, right now, you're a woman of many achievements, and you have achieved so much for yourself. I believe you are the founder of Bontle and CEO of Something Poetic, and also you've taken significant leadership roles. How do you balance all these hats and still maintain to be, healthy, to be very present, and to be very motivated?
Honestly, as it's a struggle. It's a struggle, but we continue to soldier on. I always say to people that when you are able to prioritize, when you know what comes before what, then your life becomes very easy. So, and also, I always say to people that delegation, it's a very powerful tool that you can use as a leader. So when you have people that you can always delegate and say, you know what, help me with this. And I always say to people that as leaders, we are not one-man show. Yeah. So you can't lead people and say, I'm a one-man show. Leadership is all about leading people through the right way and also helping them to discover their abilities and their passions as well. So I remain healthy by reading. I actually love reading. So I think reading stimulates my mind and also helps me to keep calm and to be conscious as well.
Now, speaking on those very roles, I want to know, how have these experiences shaped you and what impact do you hope to have through these very ventures?
So I think being here, doing what I've been doing, oh my God, it's been a roller coaster. There was a point in life where I didn't think I will be here. But as I was going through every step of life, leading me to where I am, I think what really helped me is to keep believing in God. When you believe in God and you trust God so much that God, I can't do anything without you. You are the source. So when you understand that God is the source and you're just a resource that God is using, then it becomes very easy. And it also helped me so much to value people. As a human being, it's very much important that we value people because people play a vital role in our lives as well. And it also helped me to network with other people that I really didn't know, and they're very amazing people out there. So I'm hoping to make a very huge impact. I'm sitting here and I'm saying, you know what, I see myself owning one of the biggest community centers around, being one of the best international speaker and best-selling author as well.
In my intro, I already manifested that you are an international speaker instead of saying inspirational speaker. So already it's going on the right way and right direction. But for viewers at home who are not so familiar with Bontle as well as CEO of Something Poetic, can you tell us a bit about what are those entities about?
So Bontle it's a non-profit organization where we specialize most importantly about helping to develop communities, be it old people or young people. So we do different initiatives where we give back to school hair drives to kids when they're going back to school. And we do a lot of community initiative that helps people to become better and also open opportunities for them. And Something Poetic is just a movement of poets where we are trying to introduce poetry as a dignified art in our communities, because we realize that in our communities poetry is so undermined. Once you say I'm a poet, people be like, what's this? So but when we will look at ourselves, we have so much power, we have so much life in us as poets. So it's a more of an agency where we train poets and people who are interested in becoming poets and also writers to say, why can't we not motivate you to pursue this art that you love so much instead of us undermining you? So I work so much closely with young people and old people as well, and I realized that old people really love poetry and they understand poetry. So that's it's all about.
One thing I'm yet to see in my lifetime is seeing an older person reciting poetry. I am waiting for that beautiful moment. But let's say I'm sitting here with you, Bontle, and I'm struggling to find my voice. I'm struggling to find my place in this world. What would be your words of advice to me?
I always say to people that the only way we can be able to understand why we are here is if we understand who brought us here. Now, the thing is, we want the things of God, but we don't want to understand who God is. So when we understand who God is, we get to understand ourselves. I always say to people that when the Bible says we are created like God, it does not literally mean that we are like God. It means that we are made to function like God. And if we are not functioning like God, it means we are malfunctioning. But as someone who is trying to find your way, trying to find your voice, I think the most important thing is to have time to yourself. As people, we don't have time to ourselves. We are always busy on social media. We are always busy with friends and people going out. But when was the last time you sat down with yourself and say, but as Bontle, who am I? What can I do? What are my passions? What are my abilities? Or where can I go? Who can help me? Things like that. So if you can have time to sit down, introspect yourself, and look within yourself, what is it that we can do? I always say to people that the future is not ahead of you. The future is inside of you. So you have to look inside of you and actually think, but where do I see myself? And then the answer lies within you.
Now, Bontle, on this road and journey that you're on, and you spoke about your biggest dream in owning a very big community center. When you look back, and I don't want to say legacy because I believe you're still too young for us to be having a whole legacy conversation, but when will you know that your work is done in terms of you uplifting and motivating and inspiring?
That's a tough one. But I think the moment I see young people transformed and having found their purpose, because the important thing is people finding their purpose, because nothing is fulfilling as having found your purpose and living your purpose. So once I see people start to live their purpose, believe me, I'm sitting down and I'm saying, God, I've done my part.
Now, just to close off our conversation, we've had I've gotten big responses from you, quite inspirational, quite, fulfilling for me to hear. What would you like for our viewers to take away from our conversation tonight?
What I like people to take away is to remain authentic. Be yourself. The doorway to finding your purpose is to be authentic. So be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself. I always say life begins the moment you accept yourself. And if you are able to accept yourself, it means you are able to find out the very reason why God created you and why you are alive.
Thank you so much, Bontle, for joining us this evening and giving us the understanding of authenticity and, finding our purposes and sharing with us your biggest dreams as well as your aspirations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Viewers at home, that was my amazing, fulfilling conversation with Bontle Chauke, who was sharing in her dreams, as well as some of the things that she hopes for the many youth out there and the work she intends to do and is doing when it comes to all things regarding poetry. Now, we're closing it off on the fact that be yourself, be authentic, because after all, we know there's no other you.